that I haven't been is world building, that I haven't been Hello, welcome or welcome back, and welcome especially if you're new here. I'm Katerina, and something that was really important to me for this reading year was intentional reading. I am just on a mission to find good books that align with who I am, and just in general have a really good reading time in 2026, and that means also finding 5-star ratings. Now, here's the thing. In a given year, I maybe give 3 to 4, maybe 4 to 5 5-star ratings. I am a critical reader. It doesn't matter what kind of book I read. It doesn't matter what genre I read. I will always be a critical reader. It's just how my mind works. And so sometimes that is kind of my downfall when it comes to finding my next 5-star read, because I have this checklist that's going on in the back of my brain, and if a book doesn't meet that checklist, it just doesn't get a 5-star rating. However, there is a list of books for 2026 that I want to pick up that I do feel are going to meet that 5-star reading potential, and so let's talk about them. Starting off very easy with a book that I do believe I will be giving 5 stars no matter what is by an author that actually has some of the highest rated books on Goodreads, and that is Brandon Sanderson himself, and that is The Hero of Ages. This is the 3rd book in the Mistborn trilogy, Era 1 specifically. I have devoured this trilogy. I have loved everything about it: the writing, the magic, the world building, the political intrigue, the characters. Brandon Sanderson does an amazing job at writing really interesting and very fun fantasies. So I do believe that the wrap up of this series is going to be a 5-star. Then the next one is a sci-fi. I ended up reading another book by the same author at the end of 2025, and it was also a 5-star read for me, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. I ended up reading the Project Hail Mary right at the tail end of 2025, and it was the best sci-fi book I have read. And I have not read many sci-fi books, but I loved everything about it. I loved the science, I loved the story, I loved our characters, and The Martian definitely falls into my hopes for it being a 5-star read. I have seen the movie with Matt Damon, I believe, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that this book will also live up to the expectations that I have for it. Then another book that I have really high expectations for. I read the first book a few years ago. It was one of my favorite 5-star reads of, I believe, 2023, and that is Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff. I don't think there is a book that I have yet to read by Jay Kristoff that I haven't loved. And the fact is that Jay Kristoff is one of those writers that, like George R.R. Martin, you can't trust what he's going to do with his characters. You can't trust that the endings are going to be a happy ending. And Empire of the Vampire was so fun. It took our original vampires and made them even darker, and I love that. But I do hope that this is going to be a 5-star read. So far, Jay Kristoff has yet to disappoint me in any of his books, and I'm hoping that's not going to stop now. This next one is one that I've heard so much hype around. I've seen so many fantasy lovers love it. I've seen so many non-fantasy lovers love it, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I don't think I've escaped the amount of hype that is around this book. There's just so much hype and love around this. Quite a few expectations for this book just based on the hype alone. From what I've heard, Pierce Brown really delivers well in world building and character development, so I do have a lot of expectations for this one. At this point, I don't know if it's becoming a pattern, but there's quite a few space books. I just have a really big love of space, but this next one, once again, focuses around space. It focuses around friendship and love and romance, and specifically women in STEM, which is really important to me, and that is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid, yes. I have yet to read a book by TJR. I do own The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I haven't read any of her other books. However, I do know that her books are always hyped. They're always very popular. Any book that brings women into the space of STEM and puts them as a focus. As a woman myself that is in an industry of STEM, it's just really important for me to see media and books and movies that have that portrayal, and apparently this is a book that many people cry to. I have never been one to cry to books. I hope I cry. I hope that the expectations for this one is so high that I cry like everyone else, because if I don't know what that says about me emotionally. Then the next 3 books are books that I don't own but I do plan on getting at some point this year. The first one is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I've heard so many wonderful things about this. I believe urban fantasy, and the fact that it has a very unique magic system. There's like a mafia-esque vibe going on with 2 families that run this city and everything, and that there's a lot of political intrigue in it, and I love books with political intrigue, and so I do think that Jade City is going to be a really fun one to get into. And then the next one is by an author that I actually read for the first time last year, and I gave that book a 5-star read, and that is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. He's the one that wrote The Devils. I ended up reading The Devils around September or October, and it was such a fun read. Joe Abercrombie does such an amazing job with bringing in comedic relief in very serious situations. I love his world building. He has such such a fun, unique world building that I do have high expectations for the Blade itself. And then this next one is one that I know for a fact will be a 5-star, as in like I have no question that it's going to be a 5-star, and it's not released yet. It comes out this August, and that is Heartstopper Volume 6. This is the last volume that we're getting in the Heartstopper series, and I am both devastated and excited at the same time. Our journey with Nick and Charlie is coming to an end. This entire series has been a 5-star read for me. I just love everything about this series. If you haven't read Heartstopper, I highly, 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 highly recommend that you go and read it. And then finally, the last one is a little bit of a heavier one. I am going to be reading it, I think, around this fall. It is a very hyped dark academia book, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have yet to get to this one. Honestly, if I don't get to this one this year, I'm probably never going to get to it, and I might have to unhaul it because this book has been on my shelf for so long, and every time I say I'm going to get to it, I don't get to it. I have a lot of high expectations around this one. There's just so many things that so many people have said about this one that I'm just like, okay, I need to get to it at some point. And there you have it. Those are my 5-star predictions for this year. I have a really high expectations around all of these books. If there are any books that you're highly recommending that I read right away, definitely let me know in the comments below. Let me know also any 5-star predictions that you have for your own reads. Make sure to like this video. Also, if you like me, definitely subscribe to see more videos. I will see you in my next video. Bye!